Hi crafty friends, Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be creating a layout for the Brutus Monroe design team, and I'm also using some mixed media. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started on the layout. So I've pulled a few items that I'm going to use today, and the first thing I have here is this Orange Glow 6x6" paper collection. And you can see here it's real bright and fun. There's oranges, pinks, and there's also like a cream color. And so what I've done is I went ahead and cut some rectangles down to, I believe they're 1.5 by 2.5, and I just chose 2 pattern papers and I put those on the edge. And then I'm going to be using this stencil. This is called Ring of Fire. So I want to use this stencil and apply some mixed media through the stencil. I've pulled this Velveteen Glaze, and this is the color Beautiful Blush. And then I'm also going to be mixing that with some modeling paste just to beef it up a little bit. I'm going to use some Shimmers paints in the color Pumpkin Pie, and that's because I wanted to match this orange color that's in the pattern paper, and I think it matches perfect. So I have on my desk in front of me a 12 by 12 sheet of mixed media cardstock. This is from Scrapbook.com, and it holds mixed media very well. So at first I'm trying the nozzle here to spray some of this pumpkin pie vibes down on my layout, and I've got the nozzle clogged, so no problem. I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and a little bit of water, and I'm just going to paint some on the page, and I want this to look messy. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply the paste over top of this orange. So I've got both that orange and I've got that pink color that matches the pattern paper. So while I'm painting, I also want to mention that I'm on the Shimmers Paints design team as well. So if you place an order on the Shimmers Paints website, you can add my name, Melissa Minor, to the notes section of your order, and Shimmers Paints will send you a free paint. So that's a great way to really build up your paint collection, and you can add my name to every order you place, and each time they're going to send you another free paint. I also want to mention that any products I'm using today, I will leave an affiliate link listed down below in the description box. And I always appreciate when you shop my links, as I receive a small commission at no extra charge to you. So that just helps me out here on my YouTube channel. So thank you to all of those that shop my links. It means a lot to me. All right, I'm using some Scrapbook.com dotted adhesive runner here, and I am adhering these squares down. Well, they're not really squares, they're rectangles, I guess, because I believe it's 1.5 by 2.5. And at first I thought I wanted 4, but then I decided just to leave it at 3. So I want this one to start at the top on the right-hand side, and then on the left-hand side I only have the 3. And where that mixed media is on the left-hand side of the page, that's where I'm going to place my photo. And then up in the right-hand side where I have that mixed media, I'm going to have an embellishment cluster. Now, since I used mixed media, I am going to want to use some wet glue as well, so I'll go in with the wet glue later off camera. So here's my picture that I want to scrapbook today, and this is my daughter Tatum, and this is her in the sauna, and we love going to the gym in the morning, and we think no gym session is complete without a little time in the infrared sauna. It's just so relaxing. This day, it looks like she had the blue light on, but there's different colors of lights that you can use in the sauna, and they have different health benefits. All right, so I've got the Velveteen Glaze here, and this is a Brutus Monroe product, and my Velveteen Glaze is, it's not very thick. So in order to use this to thicken it, because I want to apply it through a stencil, I'm just mixing it with some TCW modeling paste, and that's just to give this Velveteen Glaze just a little more texture, because I love the color of it, but this is just to beef it up a little bit so that I can use it through my stencil, and it just gives it a little more bulk. So I have my stencil here tacked down on my layout with a little bit of some washi tape, and I'm trying to be careful because I don't want that harsh edge of the line of the stencil. I just want a little bit of these ring of fire waves coming out from the center behind my photos where I'm going to put my photo. So I think that this is going to look really cute with that pink, and I love the bright colors of this pink. All right, so it's kind of messy here, but I'm just going to try to smooth this out with my palette knife. And I got a little bit over the edge there, so I just used my finger to wipe that up. So I've almost got this on here, and then what I'll do is I'll just lift the washi tape up and pull up my stencil, and then I'll take this immediately to my sink to wash this. Can't forget to put a little bit of this ring of fire at the top where I have this embellishment cluster going. So I'm gonna add just a little bit up here as well, and let me pull this up. And there, I love that. I think that looks super cute. All right, to speed up the process, I do have my heat tool here, and I'm gonna heat set this just to make sure everything is good and dry. And then I'm gonna set this off to the side to even dry a little bit more while I work on some embellishments. So I'll set this aside now to dry even further, and while that's drying, I want to work on some flowers. So I've got some flowers that I want to add some smiley face centers. So I took a hole punch and I punched some circles in some yellow cardstock, and that just matches the paper. There's like these smiley face flowers on the paper. So I want to mimic that by stamping these smiley faces on this yellow paper. So let me go ahead and stamp these on here. And I've got two flowers already cut out. I used some off-white colored cardstock to kind of match the Brutus Monroe paper. And let me bring those in here so you can see those. Oh, I want to show you the stamp cleaner. So this is cool. Brutus Monroe has this squeaky clean stamp cleaner, and mine is in the scent lavender. It's wonderful to clean your stamps with. All right, so here's the die set I used here, and I'll leave this link down below. And I went ahead and just cut out two flowers. And then I want to add these smiley face centers to the middle here, but I want to use some foam to pop them up just so that the smiley face is popped up off the flower. So I've found some Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals here. I love those little things. They're so easy to use. And peel this one back. We'll get this one stuck down. And then what I want to do is I just take my fingernail and I kind of rough up the edges just so these flowers aren't flat. It gives them a little bit of extra dimension. So I do that to both of these flowers. Now let me bring back in my layout. Now you'll see here I have like that, I did get a little bit of an edge there at the top of where the stencil is. So what I've done is I just poured a little bit of white acrylic paint onto my craft mat, and I have this is actually a water pen, but I'm using it more like a paintbrush. I didn't want to use one of my good paintbrushes. This water brush can handle this. So I'm just painting on a little bit of this acrylic paint in a couple of the spots where I got a little crazy with that mixed media. And you can do this anytime just to kind of touch things up. So I've got three little areas that I'm applying this paint. And I don't even think you're going to see these spots in the end, but it bothered me. So I wanted to go ahead and apply some acrylic paint there. So then I'll set this off to dry for a moment. It doesn't take long because I didn't put very much on. All right, so I think that looks better. So now I want to bring in my photo, and I cut some other little pieces of paper. I cut these to 3 by 4.5. I wanted them just a little bit longer, and I'm gonna arrange my photo here. I've got some pink cardstock, and then the yellow one with the flowers. That's from the Orange Glow Brutus Monroe 6x6 paper collection. And then I have a tag. I used just a tag die from my stash. I'm going to cut this tag down, but I want to add a tag back here so that way I can add some, just a little extra interest here. And then I've got the orange, and now I've got the yellow and the pink, so that kind of ties all the colors together. And then I want to glue it down so that the ring of fire is behind there. Now you do see me using some tape runner, but off camera, I go back in with my wet tacky glue because anytime you have mixed media, you do want to use a wet glue, as this tape runner would only be temporary. I also have this little tab that I cut from the same orange paper, and that's just to bring that pattern over to the left side, just to give it a little more interest as well. So I've got a little tag piece. I'll slip under the photo. And then here comes the cute little embellishments that I made. I love these. So I'm gonna grab the foam dots again and put the foam on the back of these these flowers, so that is my, you see how they match like the pattern paper? I think they just look perfect. I love them so much. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of foam back here, and then I'll stick one down here to the left of the photo. And then I'm gonna grab the other one, and I wanna put it up there for where I put the ring of fire. So I'm gonna put another one. And I could have went crazy and added some more, but I just thought I liked the simplicity of this layout, just a little bit, just a touch. All right, so I have that down, and now I need a title. And I also, I have this little embellishment too. This is some banners. This is a scrapbook.com banner die, and it's got these little tassels, and I just think it adds just a fun little whimsical touch to this. So I'm gonna arrange these banner strips. I cut this out in the same pink cardstock that I used behind my photo there. So that kind of ties in a little more pink to the layout and just gives a little extra interest up here. So I've got a few of these, and I'm just using some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive glue here. So I'll add 3 of these flags to the right-hand side, and I've only got 2 for the left, but I will go back later and cut a third one to add on the left side. So it looks cute. Now for the title, and I have these thickers, these are alphas from, I think these are from Bella Boulevard. I love these. But I thought a fun title, and I was inspired by the paper collection that says Orange Glow, and I'm gonna call this layout Glow Time. And so that fits perfect for this infrared sauna time. So you'll notice I started adhering the letters from the right-hand side, and that's so I can figure out my spacing here. And I love this font of these alpha letters. It's so cute. Some of them are uppercase, some of them are lower, and I love how they mix and match. And then on the eye, there's 2 different fonts here. There's one with just, you can use a circle, or you can use a little heart, and I thought the heart was cute. So I'm gonna add the heart for the top of the eye. So I've got Glow Time, and then off camera, I'll use a Sharpie and just a ruler and add some journaling lines. To add a little more interest, I have some 49 and Market rub-ons, and these are one of my favorite rub-ons. These are like stitching marks. It looks like you actually stitched on your layout, but all I'm doing is taking a little stylus here and rubbing it on. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this rub-on down to the lower left-hand corner, and then I'm gonna repeat that process. And I thought I had enough room up there to make it going across the page, but I don't. So I'm just gonna have it going vertically over on this right-hand side, and I think that kind of ties it together and draws your eye from the left for the photo over to the title and up to the upper right. So I love that. The last finishing touch here is to add a few pink and mane sequins, and that's gonna finish up today's layout. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. If you don't already follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, I would love for you to follow me on those platforms as well. I'll leave all my information linked down below in the description box. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Stay tuned for some still shots of today's layout, and there I added that final little flag to the upper left-hand corner. Have a great day. Bye.